and welcome to another vlog. I hope that you're all doing really well. We are off to the cinema today and we're going to see a film that I'm really excited for. If you can't guess from the colour, what are we seeing?
Seeing Mean Girls.
Yay! We are seeing Mean Girls and I'm really excited. Have heard some mixed reviews of the film, but we're going to be the judge of that.
I've not heard anything, to be fair.
Have you not?
No.
See, I've heard that it's like a bit hit or miss. More miss. But we're going to be the judge of that. We got tickets for, they were really cheap. They were like $5.99 each on Insider. It's a Sunday today and we're going at 1:45, so we've got really cheap tickets. So if it's not good, then it's not the end of the world.
It's not too bad.
We also had vouchers from Christmas because our family know that we love going to the cinema so much, so my mum kindly bought us both some gift cards, which is really appreciated. So we're actually seeing the film for,
I think it cost like £8.
£8, yeah, because we had like a £5 gift card, so we added that to the total and we just thought we'd pay the rest because it was so cheap. Really excited to see it. It is a musical, so I feel like it's going to be right up my street. I really want to see the musical when it comes to London this year, so this is going to be like a little taster and like get to know the songs and everything, so I'm kind of excited. The only other thing I know about the film is that Renee Rapp plays Regina, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a side-by-side telling, like it's the exact same story just with songs, so we'll see. Wearing my pink jumper for the occasion. I love this jumper actually. It's from Urban Outfitters men's section years ago and it says thank you on the front.
It's from the men's section?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. It just says thank you. There is more to it.
Thank you, have a nice day. I'm like not a pink person, so this is literally the only pink jumper that I own, I'm pretty sure. But we're going with it anyway. So yeah, we're going to go on a little Sunday outing. It's midday. We thought we'd go to an earlier film, get home early, the whole shebang. We're going to get on the road now. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay, so we're on the road now, set off. We actually do go to a cinema that's like 30 minutes away from us, so we've had to set off a little bit earlier. It's currently 1:10, so we should get there just in time to get snacks and everything, so that'll be good. We like this cinema more, like that's the reason that we travel there for 30 minutes. Hear me out, the cinema in Derby does not have the reclining seats. No. Yeah, it doesn't have the reclining seats, so we could go to
pay for parking.
You do too, you have to pay for parking. So we could go to the cinema that's closer to us, but one, it doesn't have reclining seats. Two, you have to pay for parking. Three, it's just not as good. Like, it's just not a good experience. I don't think the screens are as big either. I don't think they are. No, they're not. Not that that matters, but... And like, yeah, I just feel like it's just not as good. No. And then we used to have the Odeon Limitless card, where basically you pay $14.99 a month and you can go to as many films as possible, which was actually good, wasn't it? It is good, but when there's like no films to watch, you're just spending money on nothing. And also when it's kind of like girl mathy, when it's like, oh, it's just for free, it's like we can book it, and then it's like, well, whatever's if we go or not. So yeah, so like we used to book the films all the time because we're like, well, we may as well book it because we've got this, like, I keep wanting to say Cineworld, but Odeon Limitless. And then we would just end up not going because we'd be like, well, technically we didn't pay, but we actually did pay for the month. Yeah. So it was just, yeah, the girl math wasn't mathing, and we just decided to get rid of that in the end. Although my mum still has it, and she says it's really good, and she goes to the cinema on her own all the time to see things. So I do get a little bit jealous when she's seen like a lot of films in 1 month, because I just love going for the experience. So like, I just love going, having a couple of hours in the dark, watch a film, completely switch off. It's not that you can just scroll as well while you're at the cinema. That's one thing I love about it. You are fully immersed. Yeah, you're fully immersed. You can't just sit scrolling on your phone, because that's something that I do all the time. I do think it does encourage you to go and see the films that you probably wouldn't have gone to see otherwise. Yeah. But I think the thing for me was the novelty of doing that kind of wore off, and that's when we got a bit like, should we book it? Yeah, cool. And then we end up not going because we're not really that bothered about the film in the first place. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's true. It's like this month, there was like a couple of films that I thought would be good to see. Anyone But You, that is, everyone's talking about that. It's kind of rom-com-y, so I don't think it's up your street. I've not heard of it, to be honest. It's the one with Sydney Sweeney. Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen that being like marketed about and whatever. It's a rom-com, but I don't think that's up your street. Whereas if we had the Odeon Limitless, we probably would have gone to it. Yeah. Just because we'd feel like we're not paying. Yeah, exactly. Whereas because we've had to pay, we've not bothered. So yeah, it's kind of like you have to weigh up the options there, but it is something I'd consider doing in future. But they do Black Friday deals. It's a bit like a gym membership, isn't it? It is, yeah. Like you can like, I'll use it, and then you don't. But that's how they make their money, because they bank on you not going. Yeah, that's true. But saying that, like, I would be
car all the time, to be fair, but it's basically this Spotify thing where it tells you your favourite songs and like adds them all into a playlist for you, and this like, it's like a computer speaks to you. So it's kind of like the radio, but it's all your favourite songs. So we always like to see what this throws at us, so we're going to put that on.
It always throws Maisie Peters at Georgia.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
Hey Georgia, here's something you've not listened to in a long time. Maybe it's fallen out of your rotation. We're going to start off with Maisie Peters, but we've just been listening to Maisie Peters for like the last 20 minutes.
It'll be like, oh, it's fell out of your rotation, Taylor Swift. It's like, that's all I listen to. But yeah, we're going to put that on now, and we're driving there. So we'll see you when we get there. Talk to me nice. Talk to me. Right, we've made it.
Made it early as well.
I know, we're really early, we're like 20 minutes early. And that's not even before the trailers start.
No. I'm pretty bored.
We're gonna get some snacks when we get in and find our seats and all that jazz. Although this movie is not new, so I don't think it's gonna be that busy.
I mean, it's a bit of a hodgepodge.
Let us know what you get. My favourite are the...
I always go for the fudge, but it's like the heaviest, so it's the most expensive.
I like the fizzy cola bottles. It was quite dramatic getting in here. Story time to come. Car review! If you're new to the channel, we always do that. I don't know why, but basically we did it before Disney, so if you're new to the channel from Disney, you won't have seen us do this before, but when we come out of the film, we just sort of sit in the car and we'll review the film.
We say nothing from leaving the film to getting to the car. Yeah,
so we don't know what each other thought of the film, and then we sit in the car and we go, car review, and it's become a thing. Love that for us. Anyway, we always rate the film out of 10, first of all, so we blind rate, so like literally, we don't know what each other thought, so... No. We'll say after 3.
Yeah.
Wait then, let me think of a rating. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
5. I could have gone lower, but I didn't want to be nasty.
If you're gonna spend, I think if you're gonna spend 2 hours watching a film, just watch the original one.
Yeah, I think the original was better.
The original one was so much better.
I thought there were moments that were like funny. Not like absolutely fall out of my seat laughing, but it was like just like a quick exhale from the nose.
It was like this one bit where I laughed out loud.
Which bit was that?
Do you remember?
No.
It's the bit where, like, spoiler, obviously Regina falls in the talent show.
Oh yeah.
And then you know how like they have all of those...
I laughed at that bit, to be fair.
All of those TikToks come up. One TikTok with John Hamm where he was like, she sort of pushed from the glutes.
Yeah.
That made me laugh. I literally like laughed out loud and I had to like stop myself from laughing. But then I like thought about it later in the film and laughed again.
I didn't think the songs were good.
Yeah, see, I feel like as a musical on the stage that would probably be really good. However, I don't think there was any standout songs. No songs that I remember now.
I couldn't tell you a song.
No, me neither.
No.
So I feel like it didn't really have that like amazing song that everyone remembers and stuff from the musical, but it was still like...
It was alright.
Yeah, it was decent, like it wasn't bad. And I found some of it a bit cringy. I don't know why, but I find it always a bit cringy in films when they just try too hard to be...
TikToks are a thing, so let's get them to do TikToks.
Yeah, I feel like, I know they were trying to be current, but I just feel like the original is just so much better.
I think the issue we'll find with that is that give it a few years and it'll be like, can you remember when they were doing TikToks and it's like everyone doing like dabbing and stuff in films.
Yeah,
it's like it just dates it.
It doesn't make it as timeless, whereas like Mean Girls doesn't really have social media use in it, so...
It doesn't date. Maybe that's us just showing our age.
Maybe. For me, like, the funniest jokes were the ones that were in the original film already.
Yeah.
So they were even, like, new jokes, but they still made me laugh because the original's so funny.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it brought anything new that I was like, oh, that's made it extra special, or I'd rather watch that. As a stage show, I can see it working. I just feel like I'm not sure if it worked as a film. Musicals don't always work.
So it's an average 4.5.
So, I need to tell you guys about what happened.
We don't.
We are both silly because we were going on about this earlier in the vlog. We were like, oh, it's really, really cheap. I don't understand why it's $5.99 to get in. We were both thinking that's too good to be true. We can use our insider cards. So we get into the show and we're like, oh, there's no email.
I don't know why I didn't get the email.
No, I don't.
I don't really know why, because I paid for it and it was in like you know, my bank and whatever.
Yeah.
But on my bank it said Showcase Derby.
Yeah, which is where we live, but obviously we drove out to this one, so we booked it the wrong cinema.
Yeah, that's what you get for booking something when you're half awake.
Yep, so we had to buy some new tickets, and then we had to call up the Showcase in Derby where we live and
get a refund.
So
it was fine in the end.
But it did end up costing us twice as much money.
It's whatever. We got all our money back and whatever, so we have just paid for the tickets, so it doesn't really matter.
No, it's fine, like no harm no foul, but just one of those moments where you're like, oh no.
Of course.
Back home now, and do you mind this orange light behind me? It is the lamp in the living room giving off that very orange tint. But yeah, we got this Wonka cup in the cinema. With mediums they were giving out free Wonka cups, so we were just like, okay, so we got one, and been out of this since I got home. Got some Pepsi with lime, Pepsi Max, that makes a difference. So yeah, if you go to the cinema and they have freestyle, definitely try Pepsi Max with lime. It is amazing. Had a really, really lovely Sunday out of the cinema. It's one of my favourite things to do, so I'm sure we'll be taking you along for lots of cinema and car reviews in the future. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already to see all my future content. Have an amazing day or evening depending on where you are, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!